Hi, and welcome to the Reintroduction to Judaism course. It's so nice to finally be meeting you face to face, kind of, and I'm so excited about giving this class, and let me tell you why. For the past 30 years, I've been teaching, lecturing, and counseling people all over the world about Judaism. And something always bothered me, that so many people approach Judaism based solely on their Hebrew school education and bar mitzvah experience. And at best, that means that their Jewish knowledge froze when they were young, when they were children. And inevitably, as a person grows and matures and develops their ideas, there begins to develop a gap between their mature thinking and the childishness of their Judaism. And that leaves such a void in people's lives. So I'm excited that you came back to reintroduce yourself to Jewish ideas, to Jewish thinking from an adult perspective. And the ideas I'm going to share with you, I doubt, were taught in a typical Hebrew school curriculum or by typical Hebrew school teachers. It's something that has developed over thousands of years by Jewish traditional thinkers, teachers, and masters, and something that with age one begins to understand on a far deeper level. So let's get started. I'd like to ask you a question. I would like you to think of 3 things which turn you off of Judaism. 3 things that you don't like about Judaism. And I'll give you 10 seconds. Okay, now I'm going to ask you another question. Think of 3 things that excite you about Judaism, and none of them can be with food. 10 seconds. Ordinarily, when I do this test, it doesn't take more than 3 or 4 seconds for people to rattle off the 3 things they don't like about Judaism. But very rarely can I find people that can tell me, even in a minute or 2, 3 things that they do like about Judaism. Why is that? And let me tell you something else. What I found when I do this test, that the 3 most common things that people find disturbing in their Jewish experience is Torah, the idea of revelation, the idea of ritual, the mitzvot, and their perception of God as being very childish. And they can't relate with that. But let me tell you something. Those are the 3 things that excite me about Judaism. The Torah, the ritual, and God. And I believe the reason for that is because the information and the resources that I was fortunate to have as a child and a teenager and a young adult growing up gave me a whole different perspective on these 3 ideas. And I want to share that with you. And you can choose how you want to apply that. You know, there's a fellow driving up the highway, going a little too quick. And the cops caught up to him, and they pull him over to the side. The cop rolls down the window and says, "You know you were speeding." Apparently this fellow was hard of hearing. So he turns to the wife and he says, "Honey, what did he say?" And the wife says, "He said you were speeding." Then the cop tells the fellow, "Can I have your license?" The husband turns to the wife, "Honey, what did he say?" "He said he wants your license." So he gives him his license. The cop says, "Hey, you're from Connecticut. I once met the most obnoxious person in Connecticut. He was so stubborn. He was so angry. In fact, I never want to go back to Connecticut because that guy totally turned me off." So he goes to his wife and says, "What did he say?" And she says he thinks he knows you. Now, the issue is when we communicate ideas, it's very important who is translating and how accurate is the translation of those ideas. And particularly when it comes to spirituality and Judaism, we have to step back and revisit the very ideas, the very language that is being used in discussing Jewish topics. So today, we're going to conclude with the most basic idea of what is Judaism. What's the objective of Judaism? The first and most important idea of Judaism is, what is Judaism all about? For so many people, it appears to be a boxed-in way of life, throwing you back to thousands of years of ancient wisdom and old-fashioned ideas. And I'll tell you something. If that's what it meant to me, I wouldn't be sitting here today. For me, Judaism is about something completely different. It's about a relationship. It's about an understanding and connection to something greater than myself, something deeper within me. It's not about what can I do for a God today. It's not about how can I make my bubby happy today. Judaism is not about God. Judaism is about you and me and us individuals. Everything about Judaism is not about making God happier per se. It's not about serving the ego of our Creator. It's all about us, about allowing us as individuals to feel and connect to something deeper and greater than our limited vision of ourselves, to see ourselves in some broader context of a Creator and creation, to give value to who we are so that we can live life to our greatest ability. That is fundamental number one. That is the most basic message. And in the following classes, we're going to see how everything about Judaism, the Torah, the ritual, and our relationship with God, it's all about that one thing, you. So to sum up our first class, Judaism is not about throwing you back to the past and connecting you to some abstract God who feeds on your commitment to Him. It's more than that. Judaism is about you finding your true deeper self, about you finding your true deeper meaning and purpose of life. Everything in the Torah, everything in our ritual, and everything in our spiritual tradition is to help you find that part of who you are, develop it, strengthen it, and allow it to be an exciting and invigorating part of your life.